Go down, go down, go down that road. And while you're down there, before we travel, you take the high road and I'll take the other road, and I'll be in there before you. I'd like to see your mother's eyes when she sees your stomach rise, Angelina. I'd like to see your father's map when you come home with the flu. I could do this in bed, I'd make $10 million, right? It's about a girl who died, a kurva, a prostitute. The madam is crying in her grave with another kurva. And the madam says, there goes the best kurva I ever had. The other broad says, sure, you gotta drop dead before they say one good word about it. Oh, love. You could do it better, honey. You try it. Takes one to know one. You hear about the two faggots who followed each other? They played a new game. Swallow the leader. I know a better one. I know one by the guy that walked down the street backwards with his jadrul hanging out, trolling for queers. That's the cutest. In Central Park, where the guy was making love to a girl. He was on the top, and the cop walks over and taps the guy on the shoulder. He says, I'm next. The guy looks up at the cop. He says, I never made it with a cop before. Milk? Hot milk, because I got a sore throat. I got something in my throat. I don't know who the hell it is. You people who are familiar with California, I'm the only female member of the Saints and Sinners. I think there's about 4,000 men. I'm the only woman member that they made me. Isn't that the greatest? I'm saying it for a reason, because if it happened to me 20 years ago, if I charged $1 a head, I'd be a millionaire. When I got arrested in California, I said it wasn't me, it was Belle Bartholomew. I said Freddie Bartholomew's mother. Play an Irish song. Did your mother come? Mine did. Play that, honey, because it's a story about McCarthy who died. They laid him out in the coffin. His friends remembered he loved Limburger cheese. The Irish have a sense of humor. They stuck a cake of Limburger cheese right in the coffin. They closed him up, and as they were walking down the church steps, one of the pallbearers let go. He let go, so they all let go. Hogan ran over to Riley. He said, Riley, why'd you drop the coffin? Riley said, why? He said, listen, son, anybody could do what he did, you could walk. You go. Can't you say you're gonna defecate? It's all right with me, honey. Mention my name, you won't get crabs. Never saw so much traffic in my life. Where are they going, Stanley? If this room did as well as the men's room, we'd make $1 million. I have a story that's a little vulgar. Play an Italian song and you'll flip. For $3,000 a week, I gotta work like a slob. This is a story about a fella sent down below. He gets down below, he's standing up to his neck, up to what is that to do? Turns around, he sees another guy steht in Dreck, up to here. He says, what kind of a place is this? The guy says, you think this is bad? Wait till them Dagos go by in a speedboat. It's a story about a sailor who was deserted on an island for 5 years to purgatory. The wave washed ashore on the island a barrel with a gorgeous blonde in it. She looks at him, she says, how long you been on this island? He says, 5 years. She says, how would you like to have something you didn't have for a long time? Schmuck looks at her, he says, you mean to tell me you got beer in that barrel? The same sailor was going back to America, Players. He's washing himself, he's taking a shower. All of a sudden, the commander decided to inspect the ship. He looks at him. He says, you know, son, you're subject to court-martial for doing what you're doing. He says, sir, it's my soap, it's part of my body, and I can wash it as fast as I want. I said be. I said be you. B-U-L-L-S-H-E-D bullshit. You know why the Lone Ranger don't get along with Tonto? He found out that Kimosabe means chuck you, folly. Did you hear about the snuff manufacturer who goes around putting his business up people's noses? It's like the guy talking to the telephone operator. Couldn't get his number. She says, have you been cut off? He says, yes, I've been cut off. But it never affected my hearing. Show me the way to go home. But last night I was really drunk, Billy. I was so farhaggard I wound up in a motel with my own husband. Maybe he was my ex-husband. He was drunker. He put 20 on the dresser. And I was so umbriago, I gave him 5 change. Because, you know, I never got more than a deuce in my heyday, honey. I have a story for you about a drunk who goes into a bar. He orders a double scotch. One for everybody, one for himself, one for the bartender. A little while later, he repeats the order. Bartender gives him a tab for $185. He can't pay, so the bartender throws him out. Next day he comes back, the bartender looks at him, he says, don't tell me. He says, you want a drink for everybody in the house? And one for me too. The guy says, no, not you. You get too nasty when you drink. You people know when a circus tent leaks? When the man on the flying trap pees. Here's a story about a drunk that walked into a mission. He says, do you people say bad girls here? The guy says, certainly we say bad girls. He says, that's good. Save me one for Saturday night. She's the yellow rose of Texas. She charges $50. She's the richest girl in Texas, and all she does is reads. I used it in Miami Beach years ago about the grandfather who was taking a bath. The 6-year-old grandson wanted to come in. He wanted to make wee-wee. The grandfather had to jump out of the tub to let the kid in. The kid looks at him. What does he know what a killer is? He's 6 years old. He said, Zeta, what's in this? He said, this is a Zeppelin. The kid said, if it's a Zeppelin, how come it don't fly? The Zeta looks at the kid, he says, Tatala, can I help it if I got a putz for a pilot? Nagi the Hobbit. That was years ago. We had the $64,000 quiz program, remember that? How much asked this woman, he says, for $64,000, who was the first man? She says, I wouldn't tell you for $100 million. Remind me of the guy who was in last night in my club. He was a proctologist. That's a rectal surgeon. He looked so unhappy. I said, why? Why you look so unhappy? He said, I should have been a dentist. I said, why? He said, I would have had somebody to talk to. I know one thing, the Arabs will never fight our people. You want to know why, honey? Because a camel will never outrun a Cadillac. Conversations. You always hear conversations. One guy says to another, how's your wife? The other idiot says, compared to who? Never drink water because it's unsanitary. Fish have horizontal recreation. Yeah, it's like my accountant says when I fill out my income tax. How can you spend more than you earn? I says, it's not easy. You mean my parrot story? I heard a story that's so cute. Play a parrot story. There was a male parrot went up to a female parrot house. They said, we got a $5 parrot, a $10 parrot, and a $25 parrot. He said, I'll take the $25 parrot. Took him in the back, and there's noise, and my heart getting right. All of a sudden, they see feathers blowing all around the joint. The guy walks in, he says, what's happening here? The male parrot says, for $25, I want her naked. Did I tell you the story about the ugly, emaciated little skinny man who was walking down the street? Never could get a girl if he went to a house of ill repute. Never had a girl in his life, a face full of pimples, and The beautiful girl comes near him, and she's winking to him like this. This guy gave me a part. He don't know what's happening. He can't believe that she's actually looking at him. She says, I like you. He says, me? Looks like an idiot, you know? She says, I want you to come up to my room. He says, you want me in your room? She says, I want you to stand naked in my bedroom. Guy is shivering. Went up to her apartment, stood there in her bedroom naked via Zimmer Schmuck out the She walks in with a 6-year-old kid. She's holding a 6-year-old kid by the arm. She says, you see, toddler, what you look like if you don't eat? And here's the way it goes. I hate to see my youngest son go down. I hate to see anybody's son go down. You better laugh if you want to get paid. Your wife won't be embarrassed. You're not married? You're married. I'm not, honey. I'm just practicing. I've been married since I'm 9 years old. I don't ever remember being single. As soon as one went, the other one came. You are like, what's his name? Mr. Brand. She's the bookkeeper. She's screwing both parts. It's a story about two partners. They were walking down the street and one says, oh, I left the safe open. The other one says, so what are you buying, Jake? He says, we're both here, ain't it? One was in Jerusalem. She's by the Wailing Wall. She's crying and she's crying. She's pounding on the wall. Man goes by. He says, what are you crying about, lady? She says, I want to be with my people. He says, you want to be with your people? Your people are right here. She says, no, my people ain't here. My people are in Miami Beach. It's a cute story. Now they tell one about a man and a woman in a hotel room. There's a knock on the door. She says, oh, my husband. He says, your husband? She says, yeah. She says, jump out the window. Quick, jump out the window. He says, what are you, crazy? We're on the 13th floor. She says, this is a hell of a time to get superstitious. They're honeymooners? Are they honeymooners? It's nice to see you up and around again, honey. But here comes the bride. Are you really honeymooners? Glad you got rid of your pimples. Had one last night in the round table. She said, I married 7 days. I I said 7 days makes a whole week. Funniest thing I ever saw was a Jewish cockfight. And this, of course, is one of my favorites. It's a story about a woman. Her daughter was so good to her. She's an old lady. She's, Mom, sending you to fly. The woman didn't fly. She's put her on the train. And she says, Mom, this little zippered bag, I made you a nice chicken. The mother says, you're a good girl. Gets on the train, she puts the bag on the seat next to her. Nobody was sitting there, and she falls asleep. In the interim, a man wanted to sit down. He took the bag and put it on the floor. An hour later, the woman opened the zipper, put her hand in. She says, what a daughter I got. The neck of the chicken is still warm. This is a story about a man who wanted to kill his wife. Didn't know how. Called on his doctor as confident. He said, Doctor, I hate her. I want to kill her. I don't know how. The doctor says, you don't want to get in trouble, do you? He said, no. He says, why didn't you love her to death? Jake says, could you do it that way? The doctor says, sure. The guy says, how long will it take? The doctor said, 3 weeks. 2 days before the 3 weeks are up, the doctor called on Jake. He was sitting in a wheelchair, got pegged. Doctor says, how do you feel, Jake? He says, how should I feel? In the interim, his wife was in the kitchen singing the Tennessee Waltz. Jake looked at the doctor. He says, listen to that poor bastard. She didn't know she's got 2 days to live. Saw a sign at the golf club, please don't use towels to wash your balls. Last night in the round table, some broad says to me, you got nothing to eat? I says, I got something for you to eat, honey. May take a few days, but... Bublitschka. You sure you're a Greek? I married a Greek. Didn't know which way to turn. Three sisters had a date on the same night, Stella. One says, Mother, I'm going out with Clyde for a ride. The other one says, I'm going to a show with Joe. The third one says, I'm going out with Buck. The mother says, you'll stay home, that's for sure. They tell me that grape nuts is not a disease. Don't play to him because I'll bury you both of you. And I got a place where I can lose the both of you. But I went to a milk farm in Miami Beach and I saw a broad there with 5 stomachs. Now, this is an unusual sight. You go to Marble Hall or Marble Hill, don't you? You ever see a broad with 5 stomachs? I went over to one. I says, how do you manage? She says, I to give my husband a clue. Did you ever see pinkies where there should be brownies? Stop the music. I have a story that's a little risque myself. Play a Texan song, honey. A retarded girl, 15 years old. Her father owned a ranch. So there was a big bull with the most gorgeous looking you ever saw. It was very gross. I remember this was our nut. One day she couldn't refuse the urge. She saw this bull, she grabbed him and she bit him. With that, the bull is running, he takes off and he's running like 9,000 miles an hour. The foreman comes up, he says, why did you do that? She says, I just couldn't resist. He says, well, you better take a bite of these. I gotta go catch that son of a... Can't put it on tape, but it's the greatest. And I cleaned it up. only song I know that could be a great barroom song, a song where everybody, man or woman, when they walk into a bar, they love to dig this kind of song. I call it the follow-up to One for the Road. You always fall for someone who don't give a damn for you. Isn't this a cockeyed world? Someone you think nothing of may think the world of you. Isn't this a cockeyed world? Those you love the most hurt you most. I don't know why. Someone who could make you happy, he makes you cry. And somehow all your troubles, they seem so big when really they're so small. Isn't this a cockeyed world after all? I'm not much to look at. I'm nothing to see. I'm glad I'm living, so lucky to be. So I got a lot of people still that are crazy about you and me. We may not have a dollar, not have a cent. We'd entertain, even if it was in a tent. We've got a lot of people. We'll always make a buck, right, Stella? We want to thank you for coming tonight. And though we work and slave each night of the year, we try, we change the pace. Stella with a laugh and a tear. We'll never leave them, we'll never go without us. There'd never be a show. Belle Barth signing off, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.